welcome back, and a very warm Eid Mubarak to all the people who stayed tuned to watch Pakistan TV World this morning on Pakistan TV today on this beautiful day of Eid. And we thank you once again, and we do hope that you are enjoying with your families. Eid is a very auspicious moment where families rejoice, and it is actually the reward for maintaining patience, for asking for forgiveness for Allah and seeking His forgiveness in the month of Ramadan. We as Muslims show a lot of patience, a lot of restraint, and we make sure that we give a lot of charity and pass on a lot of good deeds for ourselves and make sure that we are the best version of ourselves. So Eid is a celebration of that. Eid is a place, Eid is a time where we come together and we rejoice, we connect with our families, and we make sure to indulge in delicious food as well. It is our reward as we have earned it. And with that, we do have some very special guests in our studios today who are going to take us through the global perspective of Eid as they have witnessed Eid in different countries as diplomats, as former ambassadors. We are very lucky to be joined by firstly Mr. Naela Chohan, former ambassador. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to have you, and with that we do have the ever so lovely former ambassador Naela Chohan. Thank you so much for joining us on Eid. Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here, and the sole reason for you to be over here is that we've always thought of you as family, and we wanted to celebrate this Eid, even though these are testing times, globally, but we would want to celebrate Eid with you, and we would want to kind of learn how Eid has been over different generations and in different continents and regions. So first up, if there's a message that you would want to give out in these times, please go ahead, Madam Naela. Let's get started with you.
Well, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Thank you very much. As you said, it's a family, and Muslims all over the world, we are like one family. So PTV family, then Pakistan family, and then global Muslim family. And the Muslims abroad also have then a responsibility of giving this message to the non-Muslims also, to deal with the Islamophobia, that we Muslims, how do we celebrate Eid? What is the purpose of Eid? Because those who don't understand Eid-ul-Fitr or Muslim festivals, we need to reach out to them also to show them what we are about. So Eid Mubarak to everyone. And yes, these are trying times, but since human civilization, trying times have always been there.
True.
And the life of Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is also an example. His life was not a bed of roses.
True.
But he was always very gracious, very compassionate, very caring, and we follow that tradition.
True.
So although fasting is not specific to Muslims, fasting has been before also. But when we do it for Allah, for His pleasure, and also for purifying our own souls, our own spirit, and reaching out to those who are suffering, because when you don't eat, you realize what hunger is, what poverty is, what suffering is. So this is one way of teaching us to be more compassionate for those. Look at Muslims in Gaza.
True.
Not just Muslims, there's so many other faiths also in Gaza who are suffering because of the atrocities being committed there. So you think of them also, you think of people in Kashmir also, you think of the Rohingya Muslims also, you think of Muslims all over the world.
True.
But we celebrate, Alhamdulillah, we celebrate.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for saying that as well. I'm going to move on to Mr. Naela Chohan over here, sir, and whatever you would want to say today, because you do know, I mean, for a fact, for the last 13, 14 years I've been with Pakistan television, and it's for the very first time that Eid does not actually feel the same, and it's because of, how, Muslims globally are actually subject to atrocities. Madam have actually spoken about Islamophobia and how, these times keep on coming to us, and they keep on testing us and we keep on questioning too as well. So whatever you would want to start this day with, please go ahead, and then we'll take it from there onwards.
See, Eid is the culmination of a month of devotion, of discipline, of families actually getting together. To give you an example, if I have a few grown kids who are busy in their own jobs and I'm busy in mine, even the month of Ramadan puts us together because we have seher together, we have iftar together, and it is something sort of family bonding. And then Eid is the culmination of that holy month. And Eid is also very much like they have Thanksgiving, where every relative from all corners tries to get together for Eid. So it's a yearly ritual. Unfortunately, now with the crisis in the Middle East, it's not something which is only affecting the region. It is definitely affecting global travel. To give you an example, if you have relatives who are in North America or in Europe, in most cases they would come to Pakistan through a hub like Qatar, like Dubai, like Abu Dhabi, or even Istanbul. And right now many have had to cancel their trips because it's just not tenable, it's very dangerous. But nevertheless, I think it is also a moment for all Muslims to get together. In this conflict, there is a very clear risk of a sort of conflict which may turn out to be one between two sects of Islam. But now we see that it is both sides are beginning to realize that both are going to be harmed by this conflict. And I'm praying that stage will come when these priorities, together with other global leaders who are not Muslims, who will realize that a $200 price of oil or the shutting down of the LNG terminal in Qatar will literally cause a recession. So, for example, the oil that Japan used to import, if it is not available, no longer coming from the Straits of Hormuz, it can cause serious breakdown of the electricity grid in Japan, a highly developed country. It is inconceivable that something like that might happen. And when I say the price of oil at $200, right now it is about $109. But the Iranian military leadership has stated openly that this is going to be one of the weapons that we use, and we are going to take this oil to the level of $200 so that it causes pain, so that you realize, the rest of the world does, how we have been suffering with all these sanctions and things for the last 40 years.
Exactly. Thank you so much, sir, for stating that, and these are true facts that that Mr. Naela Chohan has actually stated over here. And days to come, we do hope that there'll be better understanding, because as of now, I think, for NATO or the leadership, which the United States of America has actually called upon to kind of facilitate them in reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, even now have realized that it's not their war and they would not want to send their servicemen or women in harm's way. But now coming back to Eid, since it's Eid, it's humans, we are resilient in nature, and we would always make sure that we make the best of whatever opportunity is in front of us. And since you mentioned that it's the culmination of whatever fasting that we've been doing, people coming together. So, madam, I'm going to get started with you. How has been your Eid when you were a child? And how do you think, because Eid obviously is going to be the same, but the traditions and the culture, there's always a bit of change in that, the way that the Eid is being celebrated by kids these days, or when you were a kid, how would you recall it?
Well, when we were kids, the monetary Eid was very important. We waited the whole month to have our Eid, and Eid was not only monetary, which of course was there, and you
which we love the most.
Yes, of course, not only from your parents, but your uncles, your aunts, and everybody else. But also the Naya Joda, the Eid ka Joda, the Eid ke boot, or if you when we were kids, there used to be this Bata ad on TV, ke Eid aayi, Bata ke jute aaye, so that means everybody had to have new shoes also. So there was a lot of, celebration in that sense. And then obviously Savaiyan at home, and tikkas at home, and everybody got together, had fun. As we grew up, lifestyles changed.
Yeah, families grew bigger.
Families spread out, half of your family is abroad or here or in their villages or wherever. So there was more scatter in the families. So the kind of reunions we used to have as kids became more difficult as we grew up.
Exactly.
But as ambassador, I can say that wherever I went, I took the Pakistani community as my family.
MashaAllah.
So I would always have an open house on Eid, and it was open to all. I never had a selected list of guests. I would just post it on the community that everybody is welcome.
And that is the true essence of Eid, making sure that you allow everyone to come and celebrate, making sure that we all rejoice,
So
making
when can
sure
we
that
come
we
for
all.
the dinner?
Oh, we inshallah very very soon. And yeah, I mean I think I heard
Well,
Shazad
not on
say that
Eid.
he's going to take all of our team for a Eid lunch after the show ends.
Inshallah, why not? Why not? Let's go. Let's
but
go.
I think I'm going to direct my next question to former Ambassador Nasser Ali Khan, and that is. When you celebrate Eid in different cultures, in different countries, what kind of systems do you see take place, right? As Ms. Naela Chohan did state that how she celebrated Eid in different countries. What I really witnessed when I celebrated Eid with my cousins in London is that instead of receiving Eidis, there used to be gift exchange.
No.
And I was not happy with it because I wanted my monetary money. I wanted to save my Eid, buy myself something, or
Get some
just spend
pounds,
it. So what kind of traditions did you experience in different countries?
As a child, I wanted both. I wanted gifts as well as Eid. I still remember the smell of new, crisp notes, and then going out to look for what eatables you could buy. Whether it was from some chabdi, some guy selling churan or something chatpata, or it was something that some toy shop that we could go into. Most cases they were all closed. Then we would eagerly wait for shops to open before we would go to a toy shop. But as far as other nations, other cultures are concerned, again, Eid becomes an opportunity for us to invite people of other religions also into our homes and introduce them to our cuisine, introduce them to our culture, and that is one of the times that inevitably we wear our national dress, in which they are all very interested. And then they go back far more informed about our culture. So that is something which it gives you an opportunity to showcase your country as well as your culture and the religion, because our religion has been under attack for the last at least 20 years, 25 years I would say. Ever since 9/11 we have had a serious issue about the image of Muslims around the world. So we need to give a message of peace. We need to tell other people of other religions that our religion is a religion of peace. And we have to show them examples from the life of our holy Prophet ﷺ, to show them that this propaganda is not what the reality of Islam is all about. But at the same time, within Islamic sects, we need to make efforts to bring different sects together. As Muslims, we must not be divided, because we are facing a very trying time, and we are facing an onslaught from some forces which are constantly looking for a bogeyman or an enemy as far as their own public is concerned, to be able to explain their hegemonic intentions, or to be able to explain the tremendous amount of expenses that they put towards the military-industrial complex. In the case of the United States, for instance, there are people, there are 60,000 people who sleep on the streets. The medical aid for the aged is being reduced. At the same time, the defense budget is going up. And it is so high and it is so absurd. And yet those greedy people are not satisfied. They are hell-bent on creating new wars all over the world, so that these weapons are used and more are ordered.
Exactly.
So, all these things are not a person who is in the public necessarily or an ambassador. It is for all of us to make efforts towards this.
And thank you
all
so
of
much,
us-
sir, for mentioning that. There's a reason why I'm saying so, because imagine that before 9/11, it was the black lives which were being targeted intentionally, and then, you know, later on, because I've been saying that you know, that they, after 9/11, they made Muslims the new blacks as well, and I think that it's for the people to understand the agenda of how people would want to operate and the greed that you have spoken about. But I think over here, I would want to kind of bring in how Iranian people, other than the religious divide that they might have within, have actually stood really tall and together in these testing times. But now kind of referring back to, I think it was a wonderful message that you've given out, and it's for the people to kind of understand, people, you know, those think tanks who are out there, that how things really need to kind of be a resolve. And, you know, even for our Muslim scholars to kind of come together on at least the same page, be on the same page together, rather than, you know, garnering YouTube views, you know, by kind of differentiating in between the research and knowledge. And if you are so full of knowledge and research, please make sure that there's a ground that you can fight together. But madam, very quickly, now in these times, you know, if my daughter stands up today, she's going to ask for 5,000 rupees as Eid. What was your Eid rate back then? You know, how much Eid would you get?
Let's not talk about it.
But just to, you know, for our audiences out there, so that I could go back and
A
quote,
comparison.
yeah, that madam actually used to get probably, you know, I think 50 paise or 1 rupee or 2 rupee. What
that was
was
the
it?
time of our parents.
Yeah.
हमारे वक्त तो rate 500 तक आ चुका था.
500 was too high. I even still today do not get 500 rupee from my father, and I have to kind of keep on requesting him. He was like, "Bete, betiyon ki Eid hoti hai, beton ki nahi hoti hai."
That is true. And speaking about
That is
Eid
true.
traditions and cultures, right?
Do you have a brother? Do you have a brother?
Yeah, I have a brother.
What's his name?
Daniel.
Daniel, I hope that it's true at your home too.
No, actually, he did get Eid yesterday
Yeah,
from
see?
me and Hadi. Okay, so but for big boys, right? Big boys like Shehzad, big young boys
men,
like Shehzad.
yes.
But you know,
Okay.
my next question is actually going to be directed to Shehzad, right? Because we have been seeing different Eid trends and traditions being carried out. So last year it was Farshi Shalwars, and this year Eid is all about Kashmiri churiyan. And since you have 3 lovely daughters and a beautiful wife, how many stacks of Kashmiri churiyan do you have at your house?
I think for all of my friends who've actually come in for visiting, you know, so one obviously Asim Hussain or Atu Bhatti, as everybody knows him in the industry, he came in with a lot of bangles, you know, so he came in with proper gift packs and oh, thank God for reminding me, I actually have to send him Eid back as well, because he brought in, you know, suits for my mother and my father and everybody, and I haven't really gotten the time. So Bhatti, I'm going to get back to you today. Sir, I think this question is something that I'm going to pose to you. Now, culturally, we are forced to do some things which the time or the pocket might not even allow us. Now imagine अब कोई आया वो इतनी ईदी ले आया अब आपने उसको वापस तो करनी है. It's like how somebody was sending you iftar and you had to send them iftar back, and you know you cannot send the cutlery empty or whatever it is. Have you ever felt pressurized by the kind of Eid that you've gotten and then now you have to revert back?
All the time, all the time. Because you see, we are living in a more consumer based society,
Yes.
and also the social media where everybody is trying to go one up on the other. So, you know, a lot of people are living beyond their means. Because they need to go to that expensive restaurant and take a few selfies, even if they don't eat much over there.
Yeah.
But to be able to post it, that I went to a restaurant where it's 5,000 rupees or 6,000 rupees per head. But coming back to the thing you were saying about Iran, I'm sorry to say this, but you know, the Iranian people, they are very different to the rest of the Middle East. The Iranian people have been attacked and even ruled on several occasions, like in the case of Alexander the Great, which was somewhere around 326 BC, 324 BC. The interesting thing about them was that they are such an ancient civilization, and their culture is so strong that even Alexander started to wear within a few days the sort of robes and
That they wear,
clothes that the Iranians used to wear. Even Tamerlane, the Mongols who came and at one time ruled over the Iranian people, they very quickly adopted to this culture. Now in the recent history, if you go back to the war with Iraq, 1980, it was a war that lasted for 8 years. It was a terrible war. We seem to forget it. It was fought in trenches. It was fought with chemical weapons. It was fought with biological weapons. And Iran suffered tremendously. Why I'm saying this is because Iran was almost alone in that fight. Iraq was being supported by Western countries. And yet, it shows the resilience of the Iranians and the lesson that they learned from a war that ended in 1988. They changed their whole prep for the war. So you come up with new paradigms and new ways of fighting an enemy. And one of the ways is to decentralize, to create a mosaic of commands, and then to hide your weapons, and then to have weapons which are value for money.
True.
Because, you know, for example, there are some weapons, like if the Iranians send a $50,000 Shahed 136 drone, it is intercepted by $2 million Patriot missiles. That's what, you know, it's an asymmetric war.
True.
It's a war designed to bleed the enemy.
Exactly.
So, you know, these tactics and also the fact that they were under sanctions for so long, they were compelled to you know, to develop their own technology.
And a very indigenous technological, you know, adoption that we have seen, you know, from the last 4 decades that they have invested in. Not just that, and you know, then the statement of the United States President to come out that we didn't really expect Iran to retaliate in this manner, I think is something which actually tells them about the befitting response that they were prepared to give. But very quickly, towards the end, one last thing, one last message that I would want you to give away. First, I'm going to actually share an instance. So when I was about to get married, you know, over here in Pakistan, there's this, the maad needs to get like a lot of Eid. So, you know, so I probably got 25,000 rupees, and then one of my, you know, brother-in-law actually was about to get married, so my Eid got down. And you know, so her Mrs. Eid needs to be sent out, you know, so it went up. And you know, this is how the dynamics of Eid are over here. So if there's anything that you would want to share towards the end, because now I only get, I think, 5,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees, which I'm really happy about. Really excited about that, because from here onwards, I'm going to go to my in-laws straight. But if there's anything that you would want to say
So
today.
this is a message to your in-laws. Got it. That's very smart,
you know, the best part is that my father-in-law, when he came over for an iftar, he said that, you know, that I pay 25,000 rupees to my son. I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just like your son too. You know, so why did you think about me like that? So, you know, I think it's going to be a
You're
fight
very
that
smart, Shahzad. You're a good negotiator.
we will have to put up. But anything that you would want to
But yes,
say.
talking about Iran, despite all the pain and suffering, the Iranian spirit is very strong.
True.
I have lived there in '89, just as the Iraq war was ending. They're very resilient people. And deep down, you know, they know how to be happy and to be grateful to Allah for all the blessings. So my heart goes out to them, and a very happy Eid Mubarak to them also, because they have that strength of character and spirit in them.
Exactly.
And despite all the suffering, despite all the bombing, they are very resilient, and they have their culture and they have their Eid there too. Here also, of course, earlier on as a kid, I used to eat all the food. Now I have to cook the food also. So my day has been very busy, starting from Fajr, because, you know, after that these programs and things are going on. So from Sehri, one gets a habit of waking up at Sehri, so that's the time the ladies of the house get up and make savaiyan and, you know, tikkas. And so you're also welcome. My Eid Milan
so
is
much.
from 2 to 4.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
We would love to
That's
attend.
exactly how a diplomat would love to say that as well. You know, so everybody needs to be on time. But it's not an open house now, so please make sure that you guys stay at home as well. Very quickly, sir, you know, because obviously we are connected on our social media platforms as well. Whenever it's Eid or any festivity, I see a lot of posts. You know, you probably go to Murray or anything, or, you know, anywhere. But this time the weather is such that it calls for a barbecue too, right? You know, is it a good idea?
Are you suggesting?
It sounds like a great
I'm suggesting.
idea.
It's a great idea and a great hint, and I'm going to try my best to make you come over to my place for a barbecue, if not on the very day of Eid, maybe in one of the 2 or 3 days.
Wonderful.
that
That's a
we
lot
get.
of
Wonderful.
dawats
See?
lined up for Shahzad this Eid, and I'm sure he's going to be really happy with the fat
But
belly.
remember, he's a Kashmiri, and we want him to give us goshtaba and tabak mash and harissa, all the things that we can't get normally.
I think that this is where you
You
went
could
wrong.
reciprocate.
Sir, this is where you went wrong because I'm a Punjabi. So I can bring in a lot of kadaiya and makhan.
Chalo, we'll take that
yeah.
too. We'll
Yeah.
take that.
And then that is a wrap for World This Morning. The message we want to give out to the world is how we need to ponder a deep reflection within ourselves, make sure that we reconnect with our families, our communities, so we can be stronger as a Muslim Ummah, and we need to reunite and stand with the values of Islam, and that is what Ramadan and Eid was all about. This is us signing out from World This Morning. A very happy Eid Mubarak to all the people watching. Allah Hafiz.
Eid Mubarak. Allah Hafiz. Thank you so much.